Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive with us. You guys know how much we love a good mystery and well. Today, we've got one that's really going to make you think. It's the mysterious death of Ethan Parker. And get this, our main source material is, wait for it, it's an episode from a narrative podcast called Haunting Grave.
Ooh, a podcast episode. That's pretty meta, don't you think?
Right, it's like a deep dive into a deep dive. So the big question we're trying to answer is, was Ethan's death a suicide? A really elaborate prank gone wrong? Or something else entirely?
And that's what we're here to figure out.
Exactly. Okay. So the podcast starts by setting the scene. It's a cold November night. Ethan's home alone in his family's apartment, just feeling kind of restless and bored.
Ugh, I know that feeling. Just scrolling and scrolling, hoping for something interesting to pop up.
Yeah, totally. Like you just got to find something to pull you out of that funk. I bet a lot of our listeners can relate to that.
Oh, absolutely. We've all been there.
So what does Ethan do? He ends up on this app called Whisperbox.
Whisperbox.
Have you heard of it?
I think so. It's like you connect with random people from all over the world, right?
Yeah, it's one of those anonymous chat apps.
Oh, right. This can be kind of sketchy.
Yeah, and the podcast really plays up that whole anonymity thing.
Which makes sense. When you don't know who you're talking to, things can get a little, well, interesting.
For sure. And that's where Anna92 comes in.
Anna92.
That's her username.
Okay.
And her profile picture is described as being this black and white photo that's partially covered in shadows.
Ooh, spooky. That's like straight out of a horror movie.
Right. It's already giving me the creeps. And the way the podcast describes it, you get this sense of foreshadowing.
Totally. Like something bad is about to happen.
So Ethan and Anna92 start chatting. And at first, it's pretty normal stuff, just small talk. But then things take a turn.
A creepy turn.
A very creepy turn. Anna92 starts saying things that Ethan never shared online, like personal details about his life.
Okay, so how is she getting this info?
That's what Ethan's wondering, too.
I'd be freaking out.
Me too?
Like, who is this person? And how do they know all this stuff about me?
Exactly. And then it gets even weirder. Anna92 says, I've been watching you for a long time.
Hold up. I've been watching you.
Yeah. And then she says, don't go to the window.
Okay, that's not creepy at all.
Right.
It's like she knows where he is.
It's like she's right there with him.
This is giving me chills.
So what does Ethan do?
Oh, no. He doesn't.
He goes to the window.
Of course he does.
I mean, wouldn't you?
Probably. But in a horror movie, that's when someone jumps out and gets yawned.
Right. But this isn't a horror movie. This is real life.
Oh, this is way scarier than a movie.
So as Ethan's approaching the window, his phone starts to flicker. And then the Whisperbox app closes.
Just like that.
And then the whole phone just shuts off. And when it turns back on, there's no trace of the app or the conversation.
Oh, wow. So is that like a glitch?
That's what's so strange. It's almost like the app vanished on purpose.
Okay, now that is creepy.
And that's when things get really bad. So Ethan's neighbors, they hear this loud thud outside. And when they look out the window, they find Ethan's body on the ground.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had fallen from his 6th floor apartment.
That's awful.
It was terrible. And at first, the police, they think it's an open and shut case.
Suicide.
Yeah. But when they start digging deeper, things just don't add up.
Like what?
Well, for starters, there were no signs of a struggle.
So you're saying someone didn't force him to jump?
Exactly. And his friends and family, they all said that Ethan wasn't suicidal.
So what else did the police find?
Well, they looked into Ethan's computer and phone records, and they were able to trace the IP address for Anna92.
Okay.
And it turns out the IP address belonged to, wait for it, Anna Turner.
Anna Turner.
Does that name sound familiar?
I don't think so.
Anna Turner was a girl who died by suicide 2 years before Ethan.
What? Are you serious?
You can't make this stuff up.
So he was chatting with a dead girl.
That's what it looks like.
But how is that even possible?
That's the million-dollar question. Because get this, Anna's phone, it had been switched off and untouched since the day she died.
No way.
Yeah. It was in a sealed box in her parents' attic.
Okay, so if her phone was off, then who is Ethan talking to?
All right. It's like something out of a horror movie.
This is way scarier than any horror movie I've ever seen.
I know. So the podcast goes on to explore all these different theories.
Okay, like what?
Well, some people think it was just an elaborate prank.
A prank? Who would do that?
I don't know. But some people think that maybe someone with access to Anna's phone decided to use it to scare Ethan.
But why?
That's a good question. And honestly, we may never know the answer.
I guess so.
Another theory is that maybe Anna's phone was hacked.
Hacked. But would the police have been able to tell that?
You'd think so. But with technology these days, anything is possible.
That's true.
And then there's the theory that, well, that maybe it wasn't a human on the other end of that chat.
You're not going to see ghosts, are you?
Maybe. I know it sounds crazy, but some people believe that. Maybe it was Anna's spirit somehow communicating through her phone.
I don't know about that.
I'm not sure what to believe either, but it definitely makes you think. I mean, think about it. This whole thing started with Ethan just being bored at home, and then he ends up dead. All because he was chatting with someone online.
It's a terrifying thought. It really makes you wonder about all those random people we connect with online.
Yeah, you never really know who's on the other end of that screen.
And you know what's really creepy to me? Is that message Anna92 sent. I've been watching you.
Ugh, chills.
Makes you think about how much information we put out there online.
Yeah, like our digital footprint.
Exactly. And what if someone is using that information against us? Or even worse, what if it's being used after we're gone?
Okay, now that's a whole other level of creepy.
It is, isn't it?
So as we wrap up our deep dive into Ethan Parker's story, what are some key takeaways you think our listener should keep in mind?
Well, I think the biggest one is be careful about what you share online. You never know who's watching.
That's such good advice. It's so easy to forget that when you're just scrolling through social media or whatever.
Yeah, we all need to be more mindful of our digital footprint.
Totally. And I think this case also highlights how, well, how there's still so many things we don't understand about the world.
Especially when it comes to technology.
Right. Like, what if there's more to it than we realize?
What if there's a whole other side of technology that we're just not seeing?
Like a spiritual side.
Maybe.
Who knows?
I think that's what makes this case so fascinating. It really makes you question everything.
It does. And that's what we love about doing these deep dives. It's all about exploring the unknown and challenging our assumptions about the world. So what do you guys think? Was Ethan's death a suicide, a prank, or something else entirely? Head over to our website and let us know your theories. And as always, thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll see you next time.